What's going on, everyone? My name is Joe Reynolds of LowKickMMA. Today, joining me is one of the most accomplished fighters you'll find on the Bellator roster, Patricio Pitbull, ahead of the Bellator versus Rizin card on New Year's Eve this year. Ahead of the fight, how's preparation been for it, buddy?
Como tem sido sua preparação para essa luta no final do ano?
A preparação tem sido muito boa. Eu venho do camp contra Adam Borix, lutei contra ele 5 rounds, não machuquei, o peso continua leve, então só deu uma mudança ali um pouco nas regras, mas estou me sentindo muito bem, muito confortável para esse combate.
Yeah, the preparation was very good. I kept the work that I was doing for my preparation against Adam Borix, and I'm very excited for this combat.
Yeah, and then you take a look at your opponent that you've got for this fight. I think between yourselves there's around 76 professional MMA fights. Do you feel as though this is one of those fights that it doesn't really get much better than this? It's Bellator versus Rizin. You've got their biggest star versus Bellator's biggest star. Do you feel as though this is one of those bouts that's extremely exciting to look back on?
I couldn't quite get the start of your question. Could you repeat that? Sorry if I'm having trouble with my internet connection.
Yeah, that's no problem. So for this fight between yourself and your opponent, there's been 76 professional fights combined. Looking at this fight in terms of its Bellator versus Rizin, their biggest star versus Bellator's biggest star, how do you feel for this fight in terms of how exciting it is for the fans and then yourself as well?
Oh, thank you. Juntando você e o seu adversário, vocês têm 76 lutas combinadas, né? Você é o maior nome do Bellator, ele é um dos maiores nomes do Rizin, o maior nome da categoria dele lá. Você, olhando para essa luta, você acha que é algo grande, marcante, assim, que está sendo feito esse desafio entre vocês?
For sure, that's the biggest thing is going to happen in MMA this year. We're going to see a shock, the Bellator versus Rizin, champion versus champion. That's the biggest step the sport is going to do now, and I'm very excited to do that.
Yeah, and to be the main event of such an event as well, these are the events that fans have been calling for years, and now that they have returned again, and it is Bellator versus Rizin, to also main event this card in an arena such as what it's going to be in Japan. What's that like, having already accomplished so much in your MMA career?
Como aumenta esse desafio Bellator contra o Rizin e dado tudo que você já conquistou na sua carreira?
Eu estou muito empolgado porque é algo inédito que está acontecendo, né? Campeão de uma organização do campeão de outra, a atmosfera da torcida no Japão é diferente. Lá é o berço de todas as lutas, então o respeito pelos lutadores é enorme. Eu estou muito empolgado em fazer esse desafio. Acompanhei toda a minha carreira aí, toda essa geração do Pride aí, né? Esses grandes nomes que tem lá. Então, estou muito empolgado.
I'm very excited for this moment. This cross promotion is something that hasn't been done before, the way it's being done now. And we have a champion versus champion fight, so it's a very big fight coming up. And it just makes me very honored and excited to be part of it.
100%. And then to look at this opponent as well, he's coming in, he's had a lot of first round submission victories via dash choke, RNCs, or pretty much any choke you can think of. But in terms of being able to look at the momentum that he has been able to build up, what is your sort of prediction going into the fight, or how do you see it going, even though he's on such big momentum at the moment?
Dado o momento, né, da sequência que você
Está falhando.
Prevê essa luta, o que é que você espera que essa luta vai ser? Dada a sequência que você está vindo, a sequência que ele está vindo, né, para ele, aí acabou de pegar o cinturão, como você prevê esse embate e qual a sua previsão para a luta?
Ele é um lutador muito perigoso, ele parece que traz muita passividade para o combate, mas é o contrário, é uma armadilha. Mas eu prevejo uma grande vitória sobre o meu adversário.
I think it's going to be a great challenge. Uh, he's done very well. He has some tricky things on his game, but I predict a great win to me over my opponents.
Yeah, and then also you take a look at your brother in the sport as well, another dominant champion who unfortunately lost his belt. But in 2023, you've got the lightweight Grand Prix where he's already got his sights set on reclaiming the belt. But do you feel as though if he is to do that, or when he does do that, do you see yourself and your brother as the most dominant brothers that we have seen in MMA? It's not often you can say you've got one brother at 145 champ and then another at 155 as their champion. Do you see yourselves as the most dominant brothers that we have seen within side of MMA?
Seu irmão perdeu o cinturão agora, mas ele tem a chance de recuperar no GP em 2023. Você, se ele chegar a conseguir recuperar esse cinturão no torneio, ou até sem considerar isso, você vê você e seu irmão como os melhores, os irmãos mais dominantes na história do MMA?
Com certeza, nenhuma dupla de irmãos fez o que nós fizemos, ser campeão na mesma organização, deter o recordes que nós temos aí nos combates. Meu irmão, rei dos nocautes, fez grandes lutas, fez grandes vitórias, tem a chance de pegar seu título de novo nessa GP, e a gente ainda não terminou, né? A gente ainda está contando os capítulos da nossa história. Temos ainda alguns capítulos para contar aí, vamos ver.
Absolutely, I believe with everything that we've done so far, we are already the most dominant brothers in the sport of MMA, and I'm sure we still have many more things to accomplish. My brother is going to be champion again, and we'll just solidify our place in this sport.
100%. And then the rivalry with AJ McKee.
No pair of brothers were champions at the same time in any MMA organization. So we've already done something that no one had accomplished before.
100%. And then you mentioned there in terms of doing things that no one has done before. Obviously, throughout your career, you've done a lot of things that a lot of other fighters haven't done before. And you've really sort of paved the way as well in terms of Bellator. You look at some of the names that people always talk about. One of the first names they'll mention is yourself. So to sort of keep having these monumental moments in your career alongside your brother, what is that like to keep creating such moments in MMA that people didn't really see as possible?
Você é nome dos que mais conquistou coisas no esporte do MMA. Estou acostumado a cobrir grandes momentos da sua carreira, junto também o seu irmão. Como é estar constantemente desafiando as previsões do outro, criando momentos que as pessoas não achavam ser possíveis?
Eu acho que ser duvidado pelos outros se transformou uma coisa normal na minha vida. Você é o menor da turma e todo aquele que é mais alto, eu acho que só por esse motivo já lhe bate. Então, isso seguiu por muitos anos da minha carreira também, com essa mesma previsão de leigos. Então, estou acostumado com isso, para mim virou algo natural. E a minha constância aí nas vitórias é um trabalho que eu faço de dedicação de anos. Eu realmente vivo como campeão. Eu faço tudo que tenho que fazer para me manter no topo. Então, eu estou muito feliz com o meu resultado, mas eu sei que foi uma vida programada para isso.
Ever since I was a child, I had to overcome people's expectations because I was always the smaller kid in the room. And there was also always that big guy that he thought because he was bigger than me, he would beat me up. So it went on my career. People always doubting that I would be able to achieve what I did. And it's become natural for me to overcome people's expectations. And as far as producing all those results and being where I am, it's something that I've programmed my entire life to accomplish ever since I set my eyes in the sport. I've been working non-stop ever since the day that I set that as my goal. And that's why all these results have accumulated.
100%, and it's been a great career to see. And as well, another notable moment in terms of your career is the rivalry with AJ McGee. Obviously, he won the first part, but you came back and won the second. Do you feel as though the book to that story has closed, or do you still see another chapter that involves yourself and AJ McGee in a trilogy? Or is your focus more or less just on this fight in what is going to be one of the biggest cards that you can find this year?